since there was an effective counter-protest at George Clooney's fundraiser for Hillary Clinton, they throw the dollar bills at Hillary Clinton's limo as she drives by, 1,000 of them.
We're in the money. We're in the money. We got a lot of what it takes to get along. We're in the money. The skies are sunny. Old man depression, you are through. You done it.
It gets a lot of attention. Well, we got to really rip that down. So how are they going to do that? Well, I mean, they can't argue that Hillary Clinton is not taking big donor money. So they're going to make a completely unrelated argument and instead call it sexist. What? How is that sexist? Okay, so let's go to CNN, the Clinton News Network. Brooke Baldwin starts the festivities.
Just quickly to put a button on the video we just showed of the Senator Sanders supporters tossing these $1,000 and $1 bills at the Clinton motorcade. Is it stupid? Is it more than that? I'm curious. She's the only female running for president, and it's dollar bills. It's imagery. I'm curious if you read anything more into that.
I think it's stupid. I think that they have money to throw away, literally, and that is not changing anything.
She's a woman, and they're throwing dollar bills at her. I was like, what? Oh, my God. Oh, they're making it rain on her. So, of course, it's sexism again by Bernie Sanders supporters. Are you effing kidding me? And they're not. That's with a straight face. So the CNN anchor, I thought they were neutral. They brag every day. We don't know anything. We're neutral to the facts. I don't know. Republicans say this, Democrats say this. But when it comes to Bernie Sanders, all of a sudden they're not neutral. His supporters are either stupid, that's what Brooke Baldwin said, either stupid or sexist. Oh, okay. Now look, sometimes I'll set up a situation where I'll ask similar kind of questions, but I'll base it on facts. I'll say, okay, look, if you're gonna do this plan, well, that means either you're in this camp or this camp, right? Here, she has no facts. Yes, does Hillary Clinton take more money? Yes. Is it a legitimate thing to protest someone going to a fundraiser where the co-chairs pay $353,000 a plate? Of course it's legitimate. But CNN, no, not legitimate. If you protest that, you're stupid. Know your role. Bow your head, okay? We're in charge. CNN is in charge. Corporate media is in charge. The politicians we bought are in charge. Oh, oops, did I neglect to mention Time Warner? Among the top 10 largest donors, their employees to Hillary Clinton. Oh, I left that out. Oh, yeah. And Charlie Rangel, of course, surrogate for Hillary Clinton, agrees, oh, they're so stupid, they're throwing their money away. Now, whereas the Clinton donors are not throwing their money away, because when they give her hundreds of thousands of dollars, she's going to return the favor, and they're going to get a good return on investment. I don't know that Clooney's looking for that, but her corporate donors, they're definitely looking for that, and Charlie Rangel knows that. Now, you think it's just, oh, okay, well, it's a one-off. Brooke Baldwin did that, but I mean, nobody else is that obnoxious. And think about this. They're claiming the supporters of the most liberal senator, and by the way, earlier, CNN had claimed he has no chance, he's the most liberal senator in the country. Now they're saying the supporters of the most liberal senator in the country were obviously sexist. They're not alone. Let's go to MSNBC, let's go to Joy Reid.
Some Bernie Sanders supporters throwing dollar bills at the motorcade of Hillary Clinton as she was going to the George Clooney fundraiser. We're going to roll that video in just a second, but just the idea of that, and people went on Twitter afterwards. You can now see the video there. People throwing dollar bills as if in a strip club. This coming on the heels of a Bernie Sanders surrogate having to apologize for using the term Democratic whores at the Washington Square Park rally. That visual there of throwing dollar bills at a woman as she's going by in her motorcade. Yeah. Has the Democratic race gone over the edge?
Have you guys gone over the edge? Look, I know Joy Reid a little bit, and I like her a lot. But that's why maybe I shouldn't meet these folks, because that is preposterous. So you think Bernie Sanders is running against Ted Cruz? Ted Cruz is at a $350,000 plate event, that they're not going to throw money at him? They're going to be like, oh, no, he's a dude. Let's not do it. The supporters of the most liberal guy in the race are going to be like, no, let's only save that for women. Remember, the women's are strippers and guys are awesome. You really think Bernie Sanders supporters think that way. You don't even believe that. You don't believe it for a second. Well, you know what you're doing? You're dealing the sexism card from the bottom of the deck. That's what you're doing. You're doing it on purpose. Wait a minute. I thought this the mainstream media, the corporate media, the established media, I thought you guys were neutral. Where's the neutrality? I don't hear it. I hear Bernie Sanders supporters are sexist. It's so unbelievably laughable that you can't believe they're saying it. Not done yet. Now, Chris Cuomo's going to have Errol Lewis on. Chris is going to mention a fact that's interesting about how even Democratic voters don't trust Hillary Clinton. Errol, remember, moderated the last debate, an enormously important debate in New York, and he was one of the guys asking questions. Let's find out if he's neutral.
The unfavorable opinion, when they look at Democratic candidates, the opinion of them, 56% negative Democrat registered voters on her, okay? Sanders, 36. That's really where you want to be. Nobody's really ever above anything close to 40 in these kinds of things. What does that mean here and moving forward?
Well, I think it means she's got something she's got to overcome. Let me suggest to you, because some of her strategists have said this kind of quietly, it's not really sort of a big thing on the campaign trail, is that a lot of this is sexism. I mean, it's buried so deep that people just say, well, I don't trust her. She doesn't keep her. And then you turn around and say, well, what politician does? You know, I mean, the governor of New York, of course, is an exception, right? But, I mean, politicians all the time, they change their opinions, they move here, they move there. With Hillary Clinton, though, it seems to be something that's just completely unacceptable. And, you know, everybody raises money from all kinds of sources.
Not the
She's the one they throw dollar bills at. I think there's an element of that. It doesn't necessarily play itself out, I think, in the vote. But I think that's what accounts for those polls. And, you know, here again,
you buy it?
You don't see it happening to every politician, just her.
You think the most liberal voters in the country think, no, it's awesome when the Republicans take money from donors? But wait a minute, those guys, these liberals, these progressives have been fighting to get money out of politics all this time now. You think they don't have a problem with the Republicans with the money in politics? Well, you can't honestly believe that. Because these are the guys who have the best record in getting money out of politics. And yes, 9 out of 10 times the guys they fight against are men. But in this race, he happens to be running against a woman. But all those commentators on TV say, shh, bow your head. Okay? Since she's a woman, you're not allowed to criticize her. Well, that would be an ironic kind of sexism, wouldn't it? Okay, if it's a woman, kids' gloves. Now, let's all be genteel. Let's be classy, okay? You're not allowed to criticize a woman. So you have to play by different rules if it's a woman. Okay, now let's break it down further. Errol said there, and again, I like Errol a lot, and so this is an absolute shame, but these things are preposterous. He said, her strategists are saying this kind of quietly. Errol, you're on CNN. If they're telling you, they're not doing it quietly. You think they were like, oh man, golly gee, I just ran across Errol Lewis. He's about to go on CNN. Let me whisper in his ear about how Bernie Sanders is sexist. I did it so quietly. Errol, they told you so you'd go on CNN and shout it from the rooftops. That's not doing it quietly. That's called a hatchet job, which you, wittingly or unwittingly, just help them with. Quietly. I mean, Errol, do you not understand? I got to ask you, do you not understand politics? That the reason they're whispering in your ear is so that you'll say that on national television? Are you like, oh, geez, I thought we were just having an informal conversation. Yeah, no, this is a talking point. They're telling everybody who's about to go on TV that is not doing it quietly. Okay. And then he says, well, I mean, what politician does actually want to get money out of politics and is not bathed in corruption? Oh, right, the one she's running against. He's like, which politician isn't crooked? Which one? Who doesn't take the donor money? Errol, how can you ask that? How can you with a straight face ask that? It's not like, oh, man, one day maybe Hillary Clinton run against that crazy guy Bernie Sanders who doesn't take the donor money. No, that's happening. We're in the middle of that race right now. Right now. Instead of saying, hey, Bernie Sanders is the one guy who's not taking that donor money. He's the one guy who's uncorrupted. You say, sexist. Him and his supporters, they're all sexist. If you can't recognize that's a hatchet job, something went wrong along the way. And they say everybody raises money, Errol said, from all kinds of sources, but They're the only ones, she's the only one that they throw the dollar bills at. I can guarantee you this, the people who put that together, every Bernie Sanders supporter, if it'll get the same kind of attention, they will throw money at Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, anyone you like, and you know that. You know that. You think they're going to take it easy on Cruz and Trump? You know that that's not remotely true. You know that they're not doing this because Hillary Clinton's a woman. You know that they're doing it. She's going to a fundraiser where it's $353,000 a plate. But you choose to purposely mislead your audience. And by the way, and this is very important, there's two last elements you got to understand. The Chiron on the CNN thing is dirty politics. And on MSNBC, has the Democratic race gone over the edge? As they imply Bernie Sanders is doing dirty politics, they're smearing him as a sexist based on nothing at all. So, and where did they get it from? By Errol's own admission, they got it from Clinton strategists. That's dirty politics. And yet they flipped it on its head. And then secondly, there's real sexism in the world. You know who fights against that? Liberals, progressives. That's who fight against it. And when you cry wolf, when someone's obviously making a point about money, okay, they couldn't even possibly imagine this nonsense argument that you've created. What you're doing is anytime a woman now says there's sexism, they're going to say, oh, yeah. Like that BS that CNN and MSNBC and everybody was talking about. Like if you ever criticize Hillary Clinton, it's sexist. If you criticize her for taking all that money in the corrupt system that we have, they call that sexist. So there's no such thing as sexism. Way to prop up sexism by crying wolf. Great job. We really appreciate it. Because they don't care about sexism. They don't care about the issues. They don't care that their candidate is clearly more wedded to a corrupt system. They don't care that she's running against the one guy who isn't. They've got to get her to win because they're with her. It's the Clinton News Network. It's MSNBC. It's the corporate media, Comcast, Time Warner, their employees, both in the top 10 of donating to Hillary Clinton. She's got to win. I'm with her. I'm with her. I'm with her. She's got to win. We can't have Bernie Sanders winning. That guy doesn't take any corruption, doesn't take any money from us, and then doesn't funnel the money back to us in TV ads. We can't have it. That guy might end the corruption that we all get paid from. Why don't you say that to your audience?